I want you all to imagine that you are in the Sahara Desert and all of a sudden an elephant comes by and crushes your leg. So you are just laying there thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? An elephant just stepped on my foot and I'm going to die here. The answer is nothing, because you're in the desert, there's no cell phone service, but you don't have to worry, because all of a sudden the elephant takes his trunk and scoots you underneath a tree and waits with you for hours until a search party finally arrives. According to the Wilson Quarterly, in 2013, this very same incident happened to a camel driver. There are many more interesting things about an elephant than their enormous size and flexible trunks. They happen to be my favorite animal, so I was really passionate about learning about that. Therefore, I ensured that I only obtained my research from reliable sources. One thing that most people don't know about elephants is that their mind is definitely as great and big as their bodies, which I will prove to you by discussing their social tendencies, describing their emotional responses, and explaining their mental abilities. According to Siebert 2011, males and females live separately from each other, and the females live in matriarchal herds. These herds consist of about 15 females, and it basically means that the largest and biggest and the wisest elephant, female elephant, is the one that runs the herd. These families are very close, so much so that when a single calf is harmed, all of the mothers, sisters, and aunts will surround it to try to comfort it and to protect it. According to Meyer 2015, male elephants typically drift away from the herds around the age of 14 years old. They either live on their own or they live in smaller herds of about 3 to 5 males. Fighting for dominance occurs very often. It becomes increasingly aggressive throughout breeding season. An antisocial or extremely aggressive male is considered as a male that's gone rogue. Males that have gone rogue typically mate with the most amount of women, and they win all of their fights, which is actually very beneficial for their species because it ensures that they have strong and healthy offspring. These families, when they split apart, they still try to remain connected with each other through specific calls. Siebert mentions that some of these calls include trumpets, high-pitched screams, and low-frequency rumbles. These rumbles can be sensed from about over a mile away by other elephants if they tap their front feet or lower their trunks on the ground in order to sense the vibrations through their trunks. One of the most significant reasons why elephants socialize is to convey their emotions. Meyer 2015 says when a single calf is born, all of the elephants in the herd will surround it and celebrate its birth. They'll even put their trunks on the back of the calf in order to welcome it into this world. According to Meyer 2015, reversely, when a family member dies, all the elephants in the herd will have a form of ritual to mourn it. They will even lift the body with their trunks and bury it under sticks and dirt. Years after an elephant has died, the rest of the elephants may even return back to the same burial site and touch the skeleton with their trunks in order to remember their dead. Elephants are also able to express grief and other emotions with their body language. According to Beckhoff 2013, there has been a case of a mother grieving over her stillborn baby for 3 days straight, and she was shown drooping her head, ears, trunk, and tail. There has also been other cases of elephants physically crying. Elephants tend to also audibly weep when they are being captured. In this case, they can't be comforted by other human beings. They can only be comforted by either their mothers or other fellow elephants. Elephants are as intelligent as they are emotional, which I'll prove to you by explaining their mental abilities. According to Irie and Hasegawa in 2009, elephants are able to use tools such as sticks or leaves to swat flies, scratch their bodies, or clean their ears. They will even rip the leaves off of branches or break sticks if they're too long or they're too leafy. They will even use these same tools sometimes to draw images. This is a very impressive feat for an animal because there are not many animals in the animal kingdom that are able to convey a mental picture into physical form. There has been some cases of work elephants that actually stuffed mud into the bells of their collars in order to muffle the sound so they can sneak out and steal bananas. Elephants are also self-conscious. This means that they are able to identify themselves in the mirror. The only other creatures that are able to do this are great apes, dolphins, some dogs and cats, and of course human beings. Elephants also have a great memory. They can remember certain calls from family members that they have not interacted with in years. Either they left the herd years ago or they died. Elephants are also able to compare quantities. That means that they can, if you give them two different quantities of objects, they'll be able to tell which one has more and which one has less. So in conclusion, I discussed the social tendencies of the elephant. I described their emotional responses and I explained their mental abilities. The mind of an elephant is definitely as greater as their size. When you think of the character Dumbo, you might imagine a useless creature that has enormous ears. But once you learn its hidden talents, you'll come to discover that the elephant is one of the most fascinating animals on the planet. Thank you.